Shabbat Shalom, children of the Most High, Yahweh, our Elohim. Welcome. How y'all doing tonight? Tonight we're going to be studying in Bereshith, Genesis, chapter 21 and 22. So go ahead and grab your Bibles and we'll get to studying here, okay? Just pause the video and you can go and get your Bibles and come back and get something to drink or what have you. I'll be right here waiting for you. Okay. Tonight we're going to be going over chapter 21 and 22. Okay? And Yahweh visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahweh did for Sarah as he had spoken. So Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the appointed time of which Elohim had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, whom Sarah born to him, Yitzhak, Isaac. We're just going to refer to him as Isaac, okay? That way you understand better. But his name was Yitzhak in Hebrew. Okay, verse 4. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born to him. And Sarah said, Elohim has made me laugh, and everyone who hears of it laughs with me. And she said, Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew, and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Mitzrayim, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. So she said to Abraham, Drive out this female servant and her son, for the son of this female servant shall not inherit with my son, with Isaac. And the matter was very evil in the eyes of Abraham because of his son. But Elohim said to Abraham, Let it not be evil in your eyes because of the boy, and because of your female servant. Whatever Sarah has said to you, listen to her voice, for in Isaac your seed is called. And of the son of the female servant I also make a nation, because he is your seed. And Abraham rose early in the morning, and took bread and a skin of water, which he gave to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, also the boy, and sent her away. And she left and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the skin was used up, and she placed the boy under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat down about bow shot away, for she said, Let me not see the death of the boy. And she sat opposite him, and lifted her voice, and wept. And Elohim heard the voice of the boy, and the messenger of Elohim, small m, messenger, called to Hagar from the heavens, and said to her, What is the matter with you, Hagar? Do not fear, for Elohim has heard the voice of the boy, where he is. Arise, lift up the boy, and hold him with your hand, for I make a great nation of him. And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the skin with water, and gave the boy a drink. And Elohim was with the boy, and he grew, and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Mizraim. And it came to be at that time that Abimelech, There's that name again. And Pichol, the commander of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, Elohim is with you in all that you do. And now swear to me by Elohim, not to be untrue to me, to my offspring, or to my descendants. Do to me according to the loving commitment that I have done to you, and to the land in which you have dwelt. And Abraham said, I swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had seized. And Abimelech said, I do not know who has done this deed, neither did you inform me, nor did I hear until today. So Abraham took sheep and cattle, and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. They made a promise to each other. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech asked Abraham, What are these 7 ewe lambs which you have set by themselves? And he said, Take these 7 ewe lambs from my hand, to be my witness that I have dug this well. So he called that place Bereshith, because the two of them swore an oath there. Thus they made a covenant at Bereshith, and Abimelech rose with Pichol, the commander of his army, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. And he planted a tamarisk tree in Bereshith, and there called on the name of Yahweh, the everlasting El. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Philistines many days. Okay, there's chapter 21. And there's quite a bit that's going on there. Hagar and Ishmael got tossed out of the camp. According to the Bible here, it says that they were mocking. We'll see more about that later. Excuse me. Because when we go over Dead Sea Scrolls, we'll find out more about that entire situation. There's more to it. Let's see here. It looks like Abimelech showed up and just talked to Abraham for a while about the land that he was sojourning in. And Abraham approached him about getting his well stolen. And Abimelech said, well, I didn't know anything about that. And Abraham said, okay, well, I'll tell you what. This is my well. Here's 7 ewe lambs. You're my witness. They're my witness. I dug this well. Abimelech says, good, good. All right, thank you. And they take off. So chapter 22. And it came to be after these events that Elohim tried Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Take your son now, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as an ascending offering on one of the mountains which I command you. And Abraham rose early in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and he split the wood for the ascending offering, and arose and went to the place which Elohim had commanded him. And on the 3rd day Abraham lifted his eyes, and saw the place from a distance. So Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkeys, while the boy and I go over there and worship, and come back to you. And Abraham took the wood of the ascending offering, and laid it on Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand, and the knife, and the 2 of them went together. And Isaac spoke to Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, See, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for an ascending offering? And Abraham said, My son, Elohim does provide for himself the lamb for an ascending offering. And the 2 of them went together. And they came to the place which Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham built a slaughter place there, and placed the wood in order. And he bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the slaughter place upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. But the messenger of Yahweh, capital M messenger, Yeshua. But the capital M messenger of Yahweh called to him from the heavens and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the boy, nor touch him. For now I know that you fear Elohim, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted his eyes, and looked, and saw behind him a ram caught in the bush by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for an ascending offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place Yireh, as it is today, as it is said to this day, on the mountain Yahweh provides. And the messenger, capital M, of Yahweh, called to Abraham a second time from the heavens, and said, By myself I have sworn, declares Yahweh, because you have done this, and have not withheld your son, your only son, that I shall certainly bless you, and I shall certainly increase your seed as the stars of the heavens, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And let your seed possess the gate of their enemies. And in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. Then Abraham returned to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to be after these events, that it was reported to Abraham, saying, See, Milcah too has borne children to your brother Nahor. Important. Utz, his firstborn, and Buz, his brother, and Quemuel, the father of Aram, and Kesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Yidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel brought forth Ribkah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. That's important. And his concubine, whose name was Rawamah, also bore Tabah, Gaham, and Tebash, and Maacah. And that's chapter 22. I know the genealogies are really oof sometimes, but if we take them a little bit at a time and we highlight those names, then later on, throughout Genesis, you're going to see Nahor's name come up again. Matter of fact, a couple times. So, yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed the study tonight, and I pray that you're getting some knowledge out of this. Pray over it. Constant prayer. Ask Yahweh for discernment. If you ask, He'll show you. If you ask, Yahweh will show you. So pray over it. And maybe read it over a couple more times. Make sure that you get everything that's in there. Because there's stuff in there, it's subtle. You know, like the small M messenger and the big M messenger. Yeah, it's subtle. So, you know, maybe look over it again and see what you think. And always pray. Continual prayer. I thank you for joining me tonight. I pray you all have a good Shabbat. And we'll see you at the midweek study. Okay? Alright, we'll see you all later. Shalom.